Toni Braxton. Toni, one more. Toni, good play.
By January 1995, Toni Michelle Braxton had a nearly 4 times platinum debut album, 3 top 10 singles on the pop chart, 6 top 10 singles on the R&B chart, 2 Grammys, including 1 for Best New Artist, 5 American Music Awards, as well as a spot on People magazine's 1994's Most Beautiful People in the World, a far cry from her modest, middle-class upbringing under the strict traditions of the apostolic faith. That month, she began recording her second album, one that was intended to position the R&B diva as a pop diva and possibly even a diva of the screen. 4 months earlier, she signed a new management deal with Arnold Stiefel and Randy Phillips, who managed Rod Stewart and Patti Smith. An article on the occasion read, in part, the reason she chose Arnold and Randy was after months of consideration, she felt that's where she would get the most personal attention and full focus, says Bert Padell, the singer's business manager. The team is now making plans for Braxton to begin work on her second album in time for release next summer, with a tour to follow. Among the plans on the Stiefel Phillips drawing board for Braxton are films and television shows, as she attended the American Music Awards on January 30th, where she won for Favorite Soul R&B Album. The metamorphosis from spirited balladeer to pop phenomenon was underway. The world just wouldn't hear it, though, until, 16 months later.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
I was listening to the lyrics. I'm in the studio and I'm singing the song, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, what are we singing about? I mean, one little kid said, Mommy, is that Belle? It's a different Belle. A lot of people aren't familiar with the new look yet. I mean, because I could take it out tomorrow and go back to my short, fabulous hairdo.
That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down on me. What do you mean?
It's based on a true story from this song, I'm Talking in His Sleep. When I was in college, my gentleman friend I was dating, he was talking in his sleep. And that's where I based the title of the album, Secrets on.
At the 37th Grammy Awards in March, she picked up a Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance Female. That month, Pete Jones of BMG Music, Arista's parent company, announced Braxton's new album was to be released in June. Sessions for Secrets mainly took place in Atlanta, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and New York. Kenneth Edmonds, or Babyface, produced and composed 7 tracks for the album. Those tracks were You're Making Me High, which was originally produced for Brandy and featured composition and production from Groove Theory's Bryce Wilson, who personally sent the track to Toni. There's No Me Without You, How Could an Angel Break My Heart, with Toni contributing to the lyrics and composition, Find Me a Man, Let It Flow, Why Should I Care, and In the Late of the Night. Danish songwriters Soul Shock and Carlin, Andrea Martin, and Gloria Stewart wrote I Love Me Some Him. Andrea, Karsten, and Carlin also wrote Before You Walk Out of My Life, but the track went unused and eventually went to Monica. Robert Kelly wrote, composed, and produced I Don't Want To, which was inspired by the death of his mother. Tony Rich, Mark Nelson of As Yet, and Darnell Spencer wrote Come On Over Here, with Rich handling both the composition and production along with Antonio Reed. Diane Warren submitted a song to L.A. Reid entitled Unbreak My Heart, which she instantly knew was magical, according to a Wall Street Journal interview. When Toni heard the song, she disliked it, but Antonio, seeing dollar signs, convinced her to lay a vocal. Upon the end of the sessions at the record plant and Chartmaker Studios, Braxton revealed that she disliked the song because she did not want to record another heartbreak track. By April, it was reported her debut album had sold 6 million copies, earning it a 6-time platinum certification. That month, she also appeared at the premiere of F. Gary Gray's film, Friday. In June, she attended the Essence Awards and performed All Is Fair in tribute to Stevie Wonder.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toni Braxton.
Stevie, this is for you. I love you very much.
All is fair in love. Love's a crazy game. Two people vow to stay, and love is one they say. But all is changed with time. The future none can see. The road you leave behind. Ahead lies mystery, but all is fair in love. I had to go away. A writer takes his pen to write the words again, that all in love is fair. All of is a chance. See the good or bad. I toss my coin to say, love and me, you'll stay with Stevie. But all in war is so cold, so very cold. You either win or lose when all is put away. The losing side I'll play, but all is fair in love. I should have never left your side. Woo. A writer takes his pen to write the words again, that all in love is fair. A writer takes his pen to write the words over again, that all in love.
By this point, her debut had sold another 1 million copies, according to Billboard magazine.
I love you, Stevie.
In July, she was announced as a nominee for Best R&B Soul Single at the inaugural Lady of Soul Awards. In August, Carrie Barzillo featured Toni in a Billboard article about new releases for the fall and winter, as it was reported that her album was scheduled for release on October 24th. October 24th came and went with no album, and in a November issue of Billboard, it was reported that it was to be released within the first quarter of 1996. The track, Let It Flow, was featured on the all-star soundtrack to Whitney Houston's second film, Waiting to Excel, which hit retailers on November 14th. Camera crews filming specials in promotion of the movie were present on the set of its video.
We have Toni Braxton. She's done a song that I love. It's something that's kind of different for her. It's kind of a left turn for her.
LaFace wrote the song, and we were working on the second album, and I thought it was a great song. And he said that he was writing it for the movie, and I loved it. He said, "I'll tell you what, why don't we do it for the movie and your album?" So, ta-da, that's how I lucked up. If I weren't there, who knows who could have been singing that song, so I was really blessed with that. It feels great to be a part of this Whitney Houston soundtrack. I mean, I love Whitney. She's my favorite female vocalist in the world. And when I saw the roster of other female artists, it was fab-boo.
By this point, the album's release date was up in the air. In December, Let It Flow picked up steam on the radio, despite not being released as a standalone single. In January, there was speculation of a single project for release in February or March. By late February, it was announced that the project was slated for late second quarter release. By the time LaFace issued the first single from her new album, her first album was still charting on the Hot 200. In April 1996, she appeared at the Essence Awards and performed Let It Flow.
First thing Monday morning, I'm gonna pack my fears away. You got no cause to look back. I'm looking for me a better day. See the thing about love that is not enough. If the only thing that brings you pain. There comes a time when we could all make a change. So let go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Everything's gonna work out right. So let it go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Just let it go, baby. Don't nobody want no broke heart. Don't nobody want no two-time losers. Oh no. Ain't nobody gonna love you like you are if you say whatever he brings your way. Oh no, no, no. See the thing of it, we deserve respect, but we can't demand respect without change. There comes a time when we must go our own way. Oh, let it flow, my baby. Let it flow. Everything's gonna work out right, you know. Let it go, my baby. Let it flow. Just let it go. Oh, yeah. But sometimes love can work out right now. And sometimes you'll never know it. You're never ever gonna know it. But if it brings you pain in your life, don't be afraid to let it go. Let it flow. Let it flow right now. Everything's gonna work out right. No, no. So let it go right now. It's flow. Just let it go down. I wanna be like.
Toni appeared on the cover of the May issue of Essence magazine. The single, entitled You're Making Me High, was released in May and was issued as a double A-side with Let It Flow. Billboard magazine's review of the single read, "So you were expecting another ballad from LaBraxton? Think again. The singer previews her much-anticipated sophomore set with a sleek and sexy slice of Jeep Funk. Miss Thing has toughened up her style and will have no trouble holding her own in the current field of feisty young belters. Also, this jam has a sophisticated tone and rich production that will keep adults happily in tow. Perhaps most importantly, the song has a wicked chorus that sticks to the brain upon impact. Prepare to hear this on several radio formats well into the summer months. The single debuted at number 2 on the R&B charts and the R&B singles sales chart, and number 7 on the Hot 100 for the week ending June 8th, 1996. On June 10th, she appeared on The Rosie O'Donnell Show, performing You're Making Me High. A dance remix of You're Making Me High propelled the single to debut at number 14 on the Hot Dance chart the following week. It also moved up chart positions on the Hot 100. The music video, which was directed by Billy Woodruff, featured Braxton in a white catsuit with a mullet-style hairdo, as well as cameos from Tisha Campbell, Erica Alexander, Vivica A. Fox, and Bryce Wilson. The LA Times ran an article in their June 16th issue with a headline that read, "Taking a Deep Breath Again," and an article they went on to say, Toni Braxton not only has one of the great voices in modern pop, but she's also got a good sense of humor. When a security guard recently failed to recognize her at the entrance to the gated community where Braxton lives in Atlanta, the singer didn't fly into a diva-like temperamental rage. Instead, she laughed. Given Braxton's dramatic new look in her latest video, even some of the biggest fans of her first album might have trouble recognizing her. The guard asked me who I was, and when I told her, she didn't believe me, Braxton says, recalling the incident good-naturedly. She called the front office and said, "This woman says she's Toni Braxton, but she doesn't look anything like Toni Braxton." The most obvious difference between Braxton today and 3 years ago, when her debut album established her as one of the most dynamic R&B singers since Aretha Franklin, is a series of hair extensions that contrast sharply with the closely cropped style that was her early trademark. "Oh, you mean my bought hair?" she says, with a chuckle as she pulls at a few of the untwisted curls that swing near her shoulders. You too can have this for $1,200. I'm comfortable about it, so I don't have any qualms talking about it. Beyond that, however, there's a new aura around this 28-year-old Grammy winner whose second album, Secrets, will be released Tuesday. And it's easy to spot as she sits in a spacious oceanfront suite at the Ritz-Carlton in Dana Point. The unassuming star of 1993 radiates the confidence and glamour of a starlet. In You're Making Me High, her new single, she speaks about sexual desire and masturbation in such erotic terms that the record could raise a few eyebrows among radio listeners. At first, I was nervous about singing like that, Braxton admits. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, but the lyrics in that song are so overt. There were times when I was singing it when I felt I was letting the whole world know my thoughts about that subject. Billy Woodruff, the video director who helped shape Braxton's new look in You're Making Me High, thinks the young singer could follow Whitney Houston in movies. She's easy to direct because she knows what she's doing, he said in a separate interview. Everybody on the set was mesmerized once the music started. She reminds you of Dorothy Dandridge. You can put her in any setting and nothing overpowers her, and she can do it without moving. She understands the medium and she knows how to manipulate it. When asked about a possible acting career, Braxton smiled. Some days I want to act, produce, and possibly direct, says Braxton, who adds that she's already been sent lots of scripts for romantic comedies, which is one of her favorite kinds of movies. But I'm not just interested in romantic comedies. It could be any project that I believe in. Yet, her focus now is still on music, and she's eager to see the reaction to the new album and the new her. There's no guarantees in this business, she says, with a hint of apprehension. I have to catch my breath that I'm even here. Many artists have had successful first albums and then were never heard of again. I feel very good about this album, but consumers might go like, oh, it's whack, toss it. But industry observers don't feel like she has anything to worry about. 2 days later, her thrice-delayed sophomore effort was released. Its cover photo, taken by Randy St. Nicholas, too included those $1,200 tracks she mentioned, wet and slicked back with Toni's glaring bedroom eyes on full display. Hot Stuff. Billboard magazine featured the album in its pop section of album reviews, saying her sophomore outing delivers a driven, heartbreakingly blissful series of tunes to balm the relationship battle-worn soul. Infection and nuance underscore the vocalist's growing maturity, while producers' minimalist approach toward arrangements keep the vocals at the center of attention. Generous acoustic guitar play creates a soothing environment in which the artist projects a melancholy ambience. The set's overall pulse mirrors the performer's debut multi-platinum platter and includes several soulful yet mainstream-friendly compositions. Come On Over Here issues an ear-friendly hippity-hop rhythm, while You're Making Me High offers a more deliberate but equally satisfying R&B groove. Talking in His Sleep waxes tranquil about romantic indiscretion, and I Don't Want To bears an unforgettable back-in-the-day hook. Bearing melodic simplicity, the forlorn How Could an Angel Break My Heart grips the soul with scintillating saxophone accompaniment, courtesy of Kenny G. The LA Times wrote, in following up the debut album that won her 1994's Best New Artist Grammy, Braxton clearly wasn't taking any chances. The singer tapped Babyface, the King Midas of contemporary R&B, to co-write and co-produce a bunch of songs. And once again, she enlisted a number of leading artists to supplement Babyface's contributions, in this case ranging from R. Kelly to Tony Rich. But while Braxton's sophomore effort isn't long on surprise or daring, it's nonetheless a beautifully crafted, cohesive body of work that makes the most of her particular talents. Like Anita Baker, Braxton has a richly emotive alto and penchant for dramatic inflections that can make her sound mannered on occasion. But generally, Braxton chooses material that accommodates her throaty, sob-heavy approach. On the gloriously schmaltzy Unbreak My Heart, she dips into the sultry bottom of her register, then surges upward with an irresistible pathos. How Could an Angel Break My Heart is a more subtle, elegant ballad, but here Braxton's penning vocals provide a neat foil to the understated arrangement. And on more rhythmically charged numbers, such as the thumping single You're Making Me High, Braxton proves herself just as convincing in a perky mode. Entertainment Weekly wrote, although she's the daughter of a deeply conservative apostolic minister who didn't allow her to listen to pop music when she was a little girl, it must not have been very difficult for Toni Braxton to relate to the songs crafted for her by writer-producer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Babyface venerates love. For him, romance is a religion to be both studied and enacted. And on Braxton's new album, Secrets, the singer and her recording mentor offer up a series of secular hymns to attraction and affection, betrayal and brokenheartedness, cooing and cohabitation. You can hear their devotion in a song such as How Could an Angel Break My Heart, co-written by Braxton and Babyface, co-written by Babyface and Braxton. Over a lulling ballad melody, the singer makes her agony a thing of beauty, pausing with daring vocal timing over the lyrics' details of a lover's wayward behavior. And you can hear a different sort of testament to the redemptive powers of love in You're Making Me High, the album's eerily funky first single. Both High and the finger-poppingly upbeat Come On Over Here give the lie to doubters who thought Braxton could only sell slow songs effectively. Having sold more than 7 million copies of her self-titled 1993 debut album, Toni Braxton had yielded a string of hit singles, and Let It Flow from the soundtrack to Waiting to Excel is presently a staple of urban contemporary radio. But sophomore albums are, as the cliche goes, jinxed, and Braxton must have worried just a little whether all those young, one-name female upstarts, Brandy, Monica, Monifa, might render her languid take on love irrelevant. But instead of trying to pursue the cutting edge and emulate the youngsters' melding of R&B and hip-hop, Braxton has opted to skew older. Secrets offers space to veteran songwriter-producers Diane Warren and David Foster, who, between them, have worked with a slew of middlebrow behemoths from Barbra Streisand to Michael Bolton. Warren came up with Unbreak My Heart, a tearjerker so grandiose and yet so intrinsically, assuredly hit-bound. It's the kind of mass appeal grabber that's probably already sent a jealous Diana Ross diving for a comfort gallon of Häagen-Dazs. Easily the worst song on Secrets, and therefore worth lingering over for a second, Unbreak My Heart is one of those. The verses exist only for the swelling chorus showstoppers that allude to the emotions without ever actually embodying them. Braxton does her darndest to plug some life into the song, to no avail, and no matter. This is the sort of middle-of-the-road fodder that becomes a radio standby in spite of itself. Its selection by Braxton and co-executive producers Antonio L.A. Reid and Babyface was, in this sense, a shrewd, if artistically disappointing one. Braxton gets more solid material from other outsiders, like R. Kelly, whose I Don't Want To is a cool tune about romance and denial, and Tony Rich, co-writer of Come On Over Here, a neo-Motown composition in the manner of Rich's own best work. As for the core Braxton-Babyface collaborations, well, they're diverse, witty, and exquisitely modulated. Indeed, Babyface's Let It Flow, also included here, is one of Braxton's most successfully adventurous moments. A sultry tune that requires the singer to reach down to her lowest register. Flow has a sinuous power, and it flows into the next track, Why Should I Care, in which Braxton ascends to a high, breathy croon. Taken together, this pair of songs not only demonstrates Braxton's technical range, but confirms her ability to deliver secret sermons of sensuality, little gospels of good and bad loving, with unusual eloquence. British music magazine Music wrote, "For Secrets to eschew the approach of her debut album would have been unwise, but Toni also had to avoid another album packed with heart-on-your-sleeve litanies, so she's compensated by including a selection of more mid-tempo tunes like her current single, Let It Flow, which simply throbs with sexy aplomb. All the same love, the suspicion of its existence, how you discover it, and how it often leaves you is still Toni's template. She is sufficiently clued up about the needs of the urban market, and her sonorous tones are beautiful enough to allow her to step right inside an altogether more exciting arena." Robert Chris Gow of The Village Voice wrote, "Front-loaded with 5 pieces of sexy rocket fuel, including a miraculous Diane Warren ballad you'll never want to hear again, the miracle being that it's by Diane Warren and you want to hear it again. Soon, the air whooshes out except for the Waiting to Exhale hit and Love Me Some Him with its overdubbed yes, but by then, her pop presence is established. The apprentice diva of the debut was modest, composed, and virtually anonymous. I'll take the right it girl anytime, especially one who insists on getting her props." The Rolling Stones review read, "As designer champagne and anguish R&B goes, Secrets goes down nice and easy. A little too easy. The tiptoe tempos and low wattage arrangements, particularly the grass mat effect of the guitar playing on several of the tracks produced by Babyface, smooth out all the bumps in these in and out of heartbreak songs. Even I Don't Want To, written and produced by rumpled sheet soul man R. Kelly, is a quiet groan of loss and abstinence. The unruffled tenor of the music, however, puts the focus squarely on Braxton, and she's up to it. As a singer, she doesn't reel between the fire and woe extremes of Whitney Houston, and her voice lacks the dramatic keen of prime Anita Baker, but Braxton knows how to find the romantic core in the piece of mainstream toffee like There's No Me Without You, and her bristling tone in the adultery song Talking in His Sleep shows that as a lover and a singer, she's no pushover. USA Today wrote, "Nobody could have really blamed Toni Braxton if she'd played it safe on her second album and stuck with the breathy torch songs that made her 1993 album a multi-platinum smash. But on Secrets, Braxton reveals a subtler side. Though the themes are familiar, finding love and the pain of losing it, the songs are more richly textured and not as reliant on catchy hooks. No one conveys hurt and the determination to survive it better than Braxton. And on ballads like the languid Unbreak My Heart and the moving How Could an Angel Break My Heart, the alto shows why she stands apart from other pop divas. Let It Flow and I Don't Want To are more typical of Braxton's earlier songs, but this album's strengths lie in tunes like the moody In the Late of the Night and the daring Talking in His Sleep, which features her singing off edgy voiceovers. Smartly, the songstress shows she can get a little funky as well. The bouncy Come On Over Here kicks the album off on an easy groove. For listeners expecting nothing but ballads from her, Braxton pitches them a funky curveball with her first single, the beat-driven You're Making Me High. There's certainly no sophomore jinx at work here. For Braxton, the second time is a charm. So, largely, Toni Braxton's sophomore effort was met with immense praise and, oddly, comparisons to alcoholic beverages from champagne to wine. A nice step up from wine coolers, I suppose. The album debuted at number 2 on the Hot 200 and number 1 on the R&B Albums chart for the week ending July 6th. It sold a reported 170,000 copies in its first week of release. LaFace Arista took out a one-page ad in Billboard proclaiming she takes you a step higher with her breathtaking tribute to love with her smash album Secrets. In the following issue, J.R. Reynolds wrote in the rhythm and blues section, Secrets Out. In case you hadn't heard, Secrets, Toni Braxton's sophomore set, is a must-have. These tracks offer listeners a mighty meaty listening session filled with lyrical substance, although Mankind takes it on the chin a track or two. That's sauce for the gusto. because Braxton's singing it like it is, so it hurts you good. Credit the set's producers, Tony Rich, L.A. Reid, Bryce Wilson, David Foster, Keith Crouch, R. Kelly, Soul Shock and Carlin, and of course, Babyface, for making a set that features such a delectable music menu. In addition, kudos to the set's lyricist, Rich, Face, Wilson, Kelly, Jonathan Buck, Mark Nelson, Darnell Spencer, Diane Warren, and Braxton for making listeners think as well as feel. Secrets, released on June 18th on LaFace Arista, gave Braxton a greater creative platform from which to soar, and the artist more than demonstrates her willingness to take a natural talent and make it grow. The result is that she has firmly established herself as a first magnitude star in the constellation of music. You go, Miss B. That's funny, I'm sorry, okay. On July 12th, she appeared on Top of the Pops in the UK. A week later, she appeared on The Jay Leno Show.
You know you're making me higher. Ooh, right now, baby, I wanna feel your heart stolen by me. Let's make a deal. You roll our leg and we can go flying into ecstasy. Oh, darling, you and me. And I'm a fire, blow my flame. Take me away. Yeah. Ooh, 'cause all a girlie wants is I get so high when I'm around you, baby. I can touch the sky. You make my temperature rise. You know you're making me high. Ooh, right now, baby, baby.
Great. Let me pin this on here. Ooh, I'm gonna have to run this up your leg to keep the cord hidden. Yeah. Now, let me pin that right on there.
That's not free. That's not free.
No, I know it. You look great.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
10 million, that is wonderful.
I've been blessed, truly.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have been blessed in many ways. Now, were you like a wild kid as a kid?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Just kind of making
I'm a
up for it
PK.
now?
I'm a preacher's kid.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Now, was your dad strict?
Yeah. Pretty strict, yeah. My dad was strict.
I assume Dad is not watching tonight.
Probably.
How strict was your dad? Was it really?
for example, I couldn't wear pants because that's pertaining to a man. It was our religious beliefs.
Oh, I see.
So
So,
I couldn't,
yeah.
And I couldn't ride Soul Train. I had to be in a house certain times, like dusk dark. Like
Wow,
once
that
it
is
gets
true.
dusty outside, Dad's like, okay, it's about time. Come on, come in the house.
Makeup? Could you wear makeup?
No makeup.
No makeup?
No
Now,
makeup.
has 10 million albums changed Dad's mind a little bit there?
A little bit.
Put another coat of paint on the church, I imagine?
Okay, all right.
Well, that's great. I mean, well, he must be very proud.
Quite.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
proud.
Well, that's great. You do just a great job. Just wonderful. Congratulations on all your success.
Well,
Toni
thank you.
Braxton. Thanks, Toni.
For the week ending July 27th, You're Making Me High peaked at number 1 on the Hot 100, her first number 1 single. It was reported in the August 10th issue of Billboard magazine that Toni was to co-headline a tour with saxophonist Kenny G, a move which upset black concert promoters. She'd already been doing dates in theaters throughout the summer by herself, and Kenny was to be added at later dates beginning in October. It nearly caused her to drop out the tour, but it had already been announced, so she toughed it through. The LA Times ran an article on August 11th with the headline reading, Toni Braxton Eyes the Kenny G Crowd, and an article that read, the new Toni Braxton video for the song You're Making Me High presents a distinct image for the singer, slinky and funky, with hip, urban youth appeal. So what could be more unhip for Braxton than to tour with Kenny G? But that's just what she's doing, with the smooth saxman headlining a 50-day trek now set to begin in October, with dates that month expected at the Hollywood Bowl and the Pond of Anaheim. Some Braxton supporters are surprised that an artist of her stature isn't headlining on her own tour rather than going out with the much maligned middle-of-the-road star. Toni's fans are much younger than Kenny G's, says Michelle Santososo, program director of San Francisco urban-oriented radio station KMEL-FM. I think the loyal fans will buy tickets but leave before Kenny plays, and many of the young teen fans probably won't even go. Not so fast, replies Roy Lott, vice president and general manager of Arista Records, the company that represents both artists. The perception of Kenny that you're ascribing to some people is really uninformed, he says. To sell that number of albums that he has, 10 million in the US alone of his last one, you have to have appeal to a broad base of people. And that broad base, Lott says, includes a large number of R&B and urban music fans. The statistics back him up. The Instrumentalist's 1992 Breathless album is still a big seller at the nation's R&B-oriented record stores, according to SoundScan. And it's not the first time the two have worked together. Kenny G guests on one of the tracks on Braxton's new album, and Braxton has returned the favor with the vocal on the saxophonist's album In Progress, a contrast to his usual all-instrumental approach. The tour will be good for both of them, says Violet Brown, urban music buyer for the Torrance-based warehouse chain. I think it will make a lot of new fans for both artists. I see this selling a lot of records. And some see this meaning a lot more than just record sales for Braxton, whose debuted album sold 7 million copies, and whose new Secrets is currently number 7. If Braxton gets the people who are into Kenny G to be her fans, she could be as big as Janet Jackson, says Daniel Smith, music editor of the urban culture magazine Vibe. That and more is what Lott and Braxton's manager, Arnold Stiefel, has in mind. The current single, they say, is not meant to present a new image for the singer, but to expand her range and audience. The next single will be a distinct contrast, Unbreak My Heart, a pop ballad written by Diane Warren and David Foster. The lines are blurred, and it's hard to pigeonhole someone like her as pop or adult or urban or crossover. And they hope it will be hard to pigeonhole her in one medium. Plans call for Braxton to launch a film career once this tour is done. She's considering several offers now, with plans to begin filming in the spring. After that, she expects to do her own tour, her first as a headliner. Says radio programming consultant Jeff Pollock, sometimes people spend too much time worrying about what's going to be hip, and if your basic goal is to appeal across the board as a mainstream pop artist, then you shrug your shoulders and say, let's go for it. The film she was likely referring to, though, there is only speculation, and one mention in a book about Rhino Records is Why Do Fools Fall in Love. Apparently, the role of Zola Taylor was one she committed to, but backed out due to scheduling conflict, per an article in the Tampa Bay Times. On August 18th, she began the U.S. leg of her Secrets Tour in Washington, D.C. John Perales of the New York Times reviewed one of the 6 dates she and Kenny G did at Radio Music City Hall, writing, in part, Toni Braxton sobbed, flirted, moaned, and flirted some more through her set at Radio City Music Hall on Wednesday, opening a 6-night engagement for her double bill with saxophonist Kenny G. Miss Braxton is now on her first major tour, a production that treats her like a video-era fabrication. Before she appeared on stage, there was a montage of her video clips. She was flanked by dancers, and for every song, she had well-rehearsed steps and gestures, rolling her eyes, cocking a hip, almost semaphoring at times. When she sang I Love Me Some Him, she invited a man from the audience to the stage, handed him a Tiffany's box and a cigar, sat on his lap, unbuttoned his shirt, and stroked his hair. Her female backup vocals were on tape. It was the kind of spectacle that lesser singers mount to distract audiences from weak voices, but Miss Braxton's greatest asset is her voice, ardent, tearful, gutsy, and an improvisatory delivery that promises spontaneous, heartfelt emotion. Hitting her marks didn't seem to hamper her expressiveness, but the rigidity of the show put distance between audience and performing, making the songs less intimate. In September, she was featured on the cover of YSB magazine in what would be the magazine's second to last issue, as that same month, BET shut the publication down. That month, she also performed You're Making Me High and Unbreak My Heart at the second annual Lady of Soul Awards.
When I am baby, but you let it find me all night, doing it again. Oh my baby, you know I want you so bad, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, I say, ooh, I so right when I'm around you, baby. I can touch the sky. You make my temperature rise. Oh, baby, you're making me higher. Ooh, right down, my baby. Can't get my mind off you. Think I might be obsessed. The very thought of you makes me want to get undressed. I wanna be with you, in spite of what my heart says. I want you to be, oh baby, right now. I wanna feel your heart and soul inside of me. Let's make a deal. You roll like liquid, we can go flying into ecstasy. Oh, darling, you and me, light my fire, blow my flame. Take me away, babe. Oh, alright. Woo!
Unbreak My Heart, as mentioned earlier, was the next single released from her sophomore effort in October, which was written by Diane Warren and produced by David Foster. Billboard magazine's review of the single read, "The second single from La Braxton's mega hot album Secrets is a pop R&B ballad that casts her in the role she plays best as the forlorn heroine in a romance on the rocks. She maximizes the melodrama of David Foster's savvy blend of stately strings and soulful rhythms, moving from a dewy-eyed whisper to a diva-like belt with theatrical ease. Hit machine tunesmith Diane Warren has not written a song this lyrically potent and heartfelt in a long time. Look for this imminent smash to strongly and quickly connect with the radio's highly coveted female listeners first, with the guys joining in the fold soon thereafter. Unbreak My Heart debuted on the Hot 100 for the week ending October 26th at number 22. The following week, it jumped 13 chart positions, reaching number 9. In November, she appeared on the Top of the Pops again, and she would do so multiple times as Unbreak My Heart climbed to the number 1 position. and by December, Unbreak My Heart was the #1 song in the United States. It would stay there for 11 weeks. The single was also an enormous success internationally, reaching #1 in 8 countries and the top 10 in over a dozen. The song was so popular that while in the Netherlands on a stop for her Secrets tour, the Dutch people were singing her song for her. She performed the song at the Billboard Music Awards on December 4th in a sheer black catsuit.
Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Come back and bring back the smile. Come and take these tears away. And leave you to the night. Nights are so unkind. Bring back those nights when I held you beside me. Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. Undo this hurt you caused when you walked out the door and walked out of my life. Uncry these tears. I cried so many nights. Unbreak my heart. Don't leave me here with these tears. Come and kiss this pain away. I can't forget the day you left. Time is so unkind. And life is so cruel without you here beside me. Come on, break my heart. Say you love me. Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Bring back the nights when I held you beside me. One break my heart. Say you love me again. Undo this hurt. Cover what I've done. Walk out of my life. Undry tears, babe. I cry for midnight. One break my and break my heart. Oh baby, come back and say you love me. You know, baby. Without you, I just can't go on. You know, love. You know, baby. Without you, I just can't go on. You know, baby. You know, darling. Without you, I just can't go on. Can't go on.
And she won an award for the #1 R&B single of that year.
And the #1 R&B single of the year is
Toni Braxton.
Yes. Oh, wow. Gee. There are so many people I have to thank. Gosh, I have to thank God. I have to thank my mom and my dad. I like to thank my great producers, Bryce Wilson and Babyface, who wrote and produced the song. My managers, Arnold Stiefel and Randy Phillips. My record company, L.A. Reid. Devette Singletary. Billy Woodruff for the video. Billboard, VH1, BET, MTV, and you fans out there, I couldn't have done it without you. Retail and radio, thank you. I love you. Yes.
The following month, at the American Music Awards, she opened the show with a stirring performance of Unbreak My Heart, winning 2 awards for Best Soul R&B Album and Best Female Artist Soul R&B.
Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. Undo the hurt. 'Cause when you walk out, look down the line. I cry for midnight. Unbreak my heart. Gonna go inside of my private thoughts, and imagine you touching my private part. And it's the thought that you can't touch myself. That's why I want you so bad. This one night, that's right, that you let me find me all night. Do it again and again, yeah. You know I want you so bad, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, yeah, ooh, I get so high when I'm around you, baby. I can touch the sky. You make my temperature rise. You know you're making me high. Ooh, baby, baby, I wanna feel your heart and soul inside of me. Let's make a deal. You hold my leg and we can go flying into the sea. Ooh, you and me, light my fire, blow my flame, take me away. Yeah, ooh, can you feel it, baby? Yeah,
Hey, Tamia, let's tell everybody how they come up with the nominations.
Okay, they're based on information complied by Radio Records, a leading trade publication, and SoundScan, the radio sales tracking system.
Now let's find out who's nominated for favorite soul R&B album.
For favorite soul R&B album, Toni Braxton, Secrets. Mariah Carey, Daydream. Keith Sweat, Keith Sweat.
And the winner is Toni Braxton.
I have to thank God for all my blessings. I thank you so much. To thank my parents, my record company, L.A. Reid, Babyface once again, Devette Singletary, Billy Woodruff, and you know, the beginning, the opening, there's so many people that put it together that they don't get their props, and I'd like to thank my choreographer who did that fabulous opening. You saw Mr. Frank Gaston. Frank, thank you, baby, I love you. Thank you. And all my dancers. I'd like to thank Diane Warren for writing a fabulous song on Break My Heart, David Foster for producing it, Clive Davis for finding it, I thank you. My management, Randy Phillips and Arnold Stiefel, and Billy and everybody at Devette. I just thank you, fans. There's no me without you. Thank you.
In February, at the 39th Grammy Awards, she received 4 nominations, 2 for Best R&B Song and Vocal Performance for You're Making Me High, 1 for Best Pop Album, and another for Female Pop Performance for Unbreak My Heart. She'd wind up taking home 2 trophies, winning Best Female Pop Performance and Best Female R&B Performance.
God, there's so many people I have to thank. I like to thank God. I like to thank my parents. I like to thank Diane Warren and David Foster for writing and producing a wonderful song. My wonderful record company, Ellie Reed and Babyface. Devette Singletary. My sisters, the Braxtons, I'm really happy for them. Everybody, thank you, thank you. Woo, this is a surprise, thank you.
Billy Woodruff again directed the video, which features Tyson Beckford as her lover, who perishes in a motorcycle accident. She paid homage to Barbra Streisand in the performance segment with her big hair and tight-fitting flowing gown. The next single did not come until March 1997, which was another double A-side, I Don't Want To, I Love Me Some Him. That month she appeared at the Soul Train Awards, where she won for Best Soul R&B Song and Album Female. She and her sisters, Tamar, Trina, and Tawanda, sang Getaway Jordan on the red carpet.
Getaway Jordan, getaway Jordan, getaway Jordan.
God. You know, I've had such a blessed year, and I have to thank God so much for all his blessings. I'd like to thank Don Cornelius. I remember when I was a little girl and I used to watch Soul Train, and I was just like, God, someday I'd like to be on the show. But I never thought I'd have one of these. I'd like to thank my record company, Devette Singletary, Ellie Reed, Babyface, all my producers who wrote on the album, my managers, Arnold Stiefel and Randy Phillips, Bert Padell, everyone. Black Radio, thank you guys for being so patient and standing by me. BET, and you guys up there, there's no me without you. I love you. Thank you.
I Don't Want To, I Love Me Some Him debuted on the Hot 100 that same month at number 56. The music video, which was filmed amidst dates for the Secrets tour, was scaled down dramatically from its original concept, which was to feature Braxton walking around a big empty house in different wigs and outfits. The actual video featured Braxton in a simple white top and jeans, looking both sad and sexy, wandering around a small room. As spring sprung to summer, Vibe magazine placed its double issue on newsstands, which featured Toni Braxton wearing nothing but her $1,200 tracks and subtext that read, Toni, 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 Miss Braxton reveals her bedroom secrets. The article read, in part, You're killing me, says Toni Braxton breathily, when I tell her I want to talk about sex. A heartbeat later though, the shyness falls away and she plunges in. I was 20 years old when I lost my virginity. Toni purrs into the telephone. It's easy for me to imagine her lying on soft sheets in her designer dollhouse bedroom, clad in lingerie, gently stroking the giant teddy bear next to her queen-sized bed. With the lights dimmed and scented candles burning on the dresser, she giggles softly, seductively, her doe eyes reflecting on the full moon's glow outside her window. I can't tell you how, she teases, her voice sweet as cotton candy clouds. My father might be reading this. Who would have guessed that a self-described junior high geek whose father was a preacher man would blossom into this? Part saint, part sinner, 29-year-old Toni Braxton is the kind of woman who makes men moan in their sleep before waking to ask her hand in marriage. Biggie's dream spoke for many in 1994 when he bluntly boasted of guaranteed satisfaction with Toni Braxton. But back then, it seemed outrageous to think of her that way. I just wish guys didn't think of sex as a sleeping pill, she says. Men shouldn't go into a coma after we're finished, if you ask me. It's kind of selfish. A creative lover is one who is sensitive and caring. From her husky bedroom voice floating on the radio waves to her visually intense television appearances, Toni Braxton has cast a spell over America. There are those who say her new bombshell image is prefab pop packaging, but Toni's seen herself living a life for a long time, and she's doing whatever it takes to make her dream real. When I was a kid, she recalls, I would watch old musicals like My Fair Lady and study the fashions. I used to pretend I was a glamorous artist being played by Lauren Bacall. She's still attracted to the retro allure of pop history. Now that she's considered a true diva, Toni's more than happy to dress the part in custom Mark Bauer design. One album can explain all your moods, so with Secrets, I decided it was time to experiment with fashion. The experiment has apparently been successful. Last year, she was voted most stylish artist at the VH1 Fashion Awards, and this April, although a doll size like size 2, she prowled the runway for Bauer's spring collection. I wear provocative clothes because they make me feel sexy, Toni says without apology. If an artist like Madonna is wearing her booty hanging out, she's considered a genius. But if a black person does it, we're considered skank, whores, or sluts. On a roll, Toni adds, black girls have to learn not to be afraid of fashion. As far as wearing revealing clothes, I gotta wear them now before my booty goes flat. Rumors swirled that she was dating NBA players Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson. I never met Jason Kidd or Jimmy Jackson. It's amazing how one year people are accusing me of being a lesbian and the next year I'm a whore who's dated the entire NBA. She spoke on her status as a crossover star, saying, the worst thing about being a crossover star, she adds, is when I look in Billboard and see my records are lower on the R&B charts than on the pop charts. I don't ever want to be the kind of artist who abandons her base audience. Yet, on her most recent tour, Toni co-headlined with elevator jazz saxophonist Kenny G and suffered from a group of black promoters in the process. They were accusing me of not wanting to work with them. I understand they've helped my career and took a chance on me in the beginning, says Toni, who opened for Frankie Beverly a few years ago. I took all those things into consideration. At the same time, I felt I was having a nervous breakdown. I needed 6 milligrams of Prozac. Kidding aside, Toni admits it kind of upset me more than a lot. They would ask me, do you consider yourself a black artist? Yeah, I look at myself every day, she declares. This color ain't coming off. Toni participated in Songs and Visions, a one-day concert at Wimbledon Stadium with artists performing hits from 1956 to 1996. She performed 3 songs, Unbreak My Heart, You're All I Need to Get By, with Seal, and a cover of Elvis's Love Me Tender. She was still on tour and by this time was doing dates across Europe. By October 1st, the Secrets tour, which also featured the Braxtons as openers for select dates, was over. That same month, the final single from Secrets was released, entitled How Could an Angel Break My Heart, British magazine's Music Week's review of the single read, Braxton looks to a big ballad to return her to the top 10 with his fourth radio-friendly cut. The video was a high-budget period piece of an affair with elaborate set design and costumes.
I sang a lullaby. I heard he sang it from his heart. When I found out, thought I would die, because that lullaby was mine. I heard he sealed it with a kiss. He gently kissed her cherry lips. I found that so hard to believe, because his kiss belonged to me. How could an angel break my heart? Why didn't he catch my falling star? I wish I didn't wish so hard. Maybe I wish our love apart. How could an angel break my heart? I heard her face was white as rain, as a rose that blooms in May. He keeps her picture in a frame, and when he sleeps he calls her name. I wonder if she makes him smile the way he used to smile at me. Doesn't make him laugh, because his life belongs to me. How could an angel break my heart? Why didn't he catch my falling star? I wish I didn't wish so hard. Maybe I wish our love apart. How could an angel break my heart? Oh, yeah. Oh, my soul deep down in
The single did not chart on the Hot 100, but it was a top 40 hit in the UK and a moderate success on US adult contemporary charts. Just 2 months later, after grossing $11 million on tour, releasing 2 #1 singles, one of which was the most successful single in Hot 100 history and winning a slew of awards, Toni Michelle Braxton was $3 million in debt, having had to take out a loan to finance her Secrets tour, one which she had to repay while on the road. The weeks following her tour were spent renegotiating her contract, which had already been renegotiated following the success of her debut album. Braxton and Arista were unable to come to a middle ground, and much to the disapproval of her managers Arnold Stiefel and Randy Phillips, In early December, she sued Arista Records, wanting to be freed from her contract, with no way to pay off her debts, as the royalties she received totaled up to $1,900. The following month, Braxton had no choice but to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection. The news hit the media like a freight train. Entertainment Weekly ran an article with the headline proclaiming the star is broke. The LA Times, Variety, and even Time magazine picked the story up. She appeared on the cover of Jet magazine with copy that read, "Toni Braxton discusses the man in her life, her lawsuit against record company, and why she wants to portray Eartha Kitt in movie." The article read in part, "When superstar Toni Braxton sings her hit, I Love Me Some Him, she undoubtedly thinks about the man in her life, football star Curtis Martin." During a revealing interview with Jet, the superstar talked about everything from her red-hot romance to her legal battle with her record company, and why she wants to portray her idol, veteran performer Eartha Kitt, in a movie. She and Martin, a running back with the New England Patriots, have been together for a year. They recently spent time together in Boston during the holidays, where he was practicing. "I am excited about the possibilities," she says, "of their romance. It's weird how we met," she reveals. "I was doing the American Music Awards last year, and we were trying to do a television version of my song, You're Making Me High, and we were going to have a section, an elevator scene like in the video, with all these black male celebrities, and someone said, 'You don't have a football person,'" she recalls. "And the next day I was channel surfing and saw him on television and said, 'Who is this guy? What is a patriot? I know nothing about sports.'" She laughs. "And he was talking about God, and I said, 'Oh wow, somebody's finally talking about God and not embarrassed about it.'" She recently filed a lawsuit against her record company, Arista Records and LaFace Records, in which she is essentially asking for a raise. Since Ms. Braxton first signed with Arista, through which its Arista Ventures subsidiary owns LaFace Records, her albums Toni Braxton and Secrets have sold more than 16 million copies and reportedly earned Arista and its affiliates an estimated $170 million. By contrast, the singer received an average royalty of just 35 cents an album, said Ms. Braxton's attorney, Stanton Larry Stein of Stein & Kahan Law Firm. That represents a tiny fraction of what an artist of her stature traditionally receives. Music industry observers say a Grammy Award-winning superstar singer like Toni Braxton generally earns at least $1 for every album sold. More, the suit is asking that Braxton's recording contract be declared invalid and a new contract be negotiated. The suit cites a long, established California law that bars employers from enforcing personal service contracts for more than 7 years. The suit says the agreements under which she recorded the 2 albums date back to August 1989, and the contract cannot be enforced after 7 years. Ms. Braxton explains, "I'm just asking for a raise. That's about it. It's not about creative issues at all, as a lot of people would think." She looks forward to working on a new album with LaFace and would also like to branch into movies and portray show business pioneer Eartha Kitt, who still tours widely today. In March, she filed a complaint alleging that Arista misappropriated her funds and that her manager's connection with Arista Brass constituted a conflict of interest. That month, she also made an appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, one that for Toni perhaps didn't go over too well, as she went on record years later saying,
"She was so freaking mean to me."
1998 also saw Billboard magazine declaring Unbreak My Heart the most successful solo single in Hot 100 history. In July, she negotiated a deal for her Broadway debut in Beauty and the Beast. Not put down by her legal and financial woes, Tim Rice wrote a new song for the musical, specifically for Toni, entitled A Change in Me. In September, CNN ran an article with the headline reading, "Bucking Up on Broadway, Braxton adds chocolate syrup to Beast Bell Roll." The write-up read, "If she chose, a 5-time Grammy winner Toni Braxton could dwell on the troubles in her life." She's currently embroiled in a contract dispute with her recording label, LaFace, and she recently filed for bankruptcy, listing debts in excess of $2 million. But instead of dwelling on the bad, Braxton is taking on a new challenge, Broadway. The 31-year-old singer, whose hits include Breathe Again and You're Making Me High, is stirring things up on the Great White Way as Belle in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Let's just say Belle is like a big old glass of milk and I'm adding Nestle chocolate syrup to it, Braxton says. Singing on Broadway is different than singing in a recording studio, Braxton admits. There are things I have to do better because I'm not an actor, she says. There are things I have to do because I haven't trained to be a Broadway singer. My voice is very thick and rich, like a milkshake, and that tends to be sexy. But for Belle, who's like 16 or 19, you don't want her to come across that sexy, so I have to make my tone a little brighter. But both Braxton's composer and co-star say the singer shouldn't change too much. She's got that wonderful, husky, beautiful vocal quality that's unlike any Belle we've had before, says composer Alan Menken. She should not take Toni Braxton too much out of the performance of Belle because I think that's going to be the winning combination, says co-star Misach Taylor. I did send her a note, says former Belle Deborah Gibson, saying if she had any questions or anything, which she didn't. Here I am thinking, I've been doing this a year. Braxton says the show's creators have customized the role for her. Along with the new song, they've given her wardrobe a more Braxton-esque style. There's a little shoulder, a little bit of my back out, Braxton says. They've really gone out of their way to make it more comfortable for me. The experience is helping Braxton overcome her legal and financial troubles, which force her to gain a new perspective on life. It made me grow up, she says. It made me grow up, she says. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your friends. You have to look at yourself and make things happen for yourself. After conquering boycotts and Billboard charts, Toni conquered Broadway on September 9th as she performed her first show as Belle to rave reviews. She performed A Change in Me on The Rosie O'Donnell Show in October.
There's been a change in me, a kind of moving on. For what I used to be, I still depend on. For now I realize that good can come from bad. That may not make me wise, but oh, it makes me glad. And I never thought I'd leave. My childhood dreams, but I don't mind. For now I love the world I see. No change of heart, a change in me. For in my dark despair, I slowly understood my perfect world had disappeared for good. But in its place I feel a new life begin, and it's so good and real. It must come from within. in me.
Toni Braxton. Hi, Toni.
Hi, Rosie.
That was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And they wrote that just for you?
Yeah, just for me for the play. Yeah.
You look so different from the Toni Braxton we know from videos.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. But you know, I'll always be Toni Braxton. Let me show you. Guys, can I get some music here, please?
Toni! Honey! It's a G-rated show! You look fabulous as usual.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you enjoying it? This is your first time on Broadway, I take it.
Yes, I'm loving it. It's a lot of hard work. No one told me that, but it's so rewarding.
Had you called, I would have told you.
Oh, no, I should have called you.
It is difficult,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Quite.
What do you find the most difficult part?
8 shows a week.
Yes.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
So that's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
How do you like the audiences, though?
I love that. That's fantastic, especially when the little kids are there, and it brings
Yeah.
me so much joy to hear them. And one little kid said, "Mommy, is that Belle? It's a different Belle. Belle looks different." It was so cute.
And that's a great thing, too, because
Yeah.
of the casting, non-traditional casting. You're the first
Yes.
African-American to play Belle, are you not?
Yeah, that makes me feel really good. So bring your kids, bring your family so they can enjoy it. It's great.
And where were you when they called and said, hey, you want to try this?
I was in L.A., and they said, Toni, Beauty and the Beast came about. Are you interested in doing it on Broadway? And I love the animation. I've seen it a dozen times. And before we said yes, we saw this show. Meanwhile, I saw the show 35 times, so they call me Eve Haddington. Because I'm the mouse who went in the corner. I was at every matinee, every show. So,
Right.
And then I had to do it. I loved it. The special effects are wonderful. And my, Jim Barber, the Beast, and Lumiere from Meshach Taylor from Designing Women.
Oh,
in it.
wow.
Yeah, he's the candlestick, so it's fantastic.
It is a wonderful show.
Yeah.
I brought my niece to see it, and she was about 7 years old.
Did
and
she love it?
Well, she loved. We saw it like 3 times, but the first time she saw it, 7 years old, having been on movie sets with me, her aunt. During the transformation, she says, "Aunt Ro, I think the Beast is on a harness on a pole."
That's what she said.
She's 7 years old. I'm like, what are you gonna grow up to be a special effects designer?
It's
You know?
Disney magic.
But it's a fabulous show, and I think
great.
it really gets kids hooked on theater.
I think so. I think so.
Right. Well, happy birthday to you, by the way.
Thank you.
I didn't get you anything, had I known. Here, you want a koosh ball launcher?
Oh, I must have
Let me
it.
see if we have anything from Beauty and the Beast here.
No Beauty and the Beast?
Yes, we do. We have Belle. Listen, I can give you this.
You're so good
we
to
have
me,
Belle, and we
Rosie.
have the candlestick and Mrs. Potts. Have them all.
Oh, thank
and happy
you.
birthday to you. Go see Toni Braxton at the Palace Theater. We're right back.
That same month, she also graced the cover of Jet magazine. The article read, "Toni Braxton comes back stronger and more beautiful than ever as the first African-American Belle in the Broadway musical Beauty and the Beast. I'm comfortable singing, but I'm nervous about acting because it's so new. I'm just happy to be here right now. I never imagined so early on in my career I'd get the opportunity to act on Broadway because a lot of people don't get this opportunity until the end of their careers. I've seen the other Belles perform in the play. You could say her character was like a big old glass of punch and I had to spike her a little bit. I'm the first African American to have a leading role in a non-African American play that Disney has ever done. It's really a big, big, big deal. It's kind of like what Brandy did for Cinderella. She also revealed what really kept her from playing Zola Taylor in Why Do Fools Fall in Love, saying, "Just before this play came about, I auditioned for Why Do Fools Fall in Love, and I got the role. They called me and said, 'It's yours,' but we couldn't do it. We had some legal situation with the single rights because they wanted a soundtrack, and it just didn't work out." It was also stated that she regrets posing semi-nude for the cover of Vibe.
So you know everything about your lover. Wanna bet? The second album is something I'm really excited about, although I'm very nervous. But I think that Ellie and Kenny did a really good job on selecting the songs. And I feel pretty proud of some. Talking in His Sleep particularly is a song that that's a testimony, kind of, sort of. Talking in His Sleep. How do I talk about that without getting too explicit? The affair, okay, it's corrupt. What do I do? What do I say? I feel ashamed, embarrassed, fatigued. Such a petty crime, sexual indiscretion. At night when he lays down, how I wish I could not hear the sound. But I could. All the things that he said. Yeah. How can this be? Babyface Kenny, as I call him, Yannick. That's Kenny backwards. He's always great to work with. Our chemistry, I think, is excellent. And we always have fun, and he doesn't allow me to become lazy. When I say, Kenny, I don't think I can eat that. No, he forces me to do the best that I can. He's an excellent producer. L.A., he's like the dad, you know. I'm in trouble most of the time. No, but seriously, L.A.'s great. I love L.A. We go through it often, and we have the boxing gloves on, but we still hug and kiss and make up right afterwards. And he's definitely the greatest A&R person in the world.
I say that you need it every day, but if you look my way, you won't be wasting time. Just come on over here, and I will take care of your every need, 'cause I've got love to give to you. Just come on over here, and don't you worry, dear, 'cause I've got more than you know what to do with.
Recording the second album wasn't necessarily different. It was just trying to find the best songs. And for us, for me and Kenny in LA, we come up with a theme. And since my heart was still broken, I'm telling you a little of my personal life, but since my heart was still broken, you know, we decided just to write about my heart not being mended.
Know what I'm searching for, yes I know. Dawn incredible, don't you know? I won't give up until I found the perfect man. So I gotta find me. Oh, gotta find me a guy. So wanna blow my mind. So I gotta find me a man. Oh, not just a man. Oh, find me a man.
By February of 1999, with a renegotiated record deal, La Braxton, the chosen one, began recording her third studio album.
That's it.